Little hot dogs were the bane of my existence. On my first day serving, when a guest asked what they were, I felt like saying, duh, are you blind? But instead came out with tiny batter-wrapped kosher frankfurters with dipping sauce in a formal voice that Eben never let me live down. The proper name is Cocktail Frank, but I like your style, he told me, after he composed himself in the back room. I was just trying to make them sound, I don't know, more impressive. Call them whatever you want. They're the height of tacky, but everyone gobbles them up faster than you can say, mustard with that? Since then, whenever a guest asked that idiotic question, Evan and I made up some lavish-sounding name to make the lowly Cocktail Frank sound classy. The hot dog name game was more fun when the two of us were working in the same room. I was not in the mood. When I ran the Camelot, they would be banished from the menu. I put on my cheek-busting service smile and wandered into the crowd, offering the tray to anyone who looked interested. It wasn't long before I ran into the other bane of my existence at work, the group of rowdy guys. They were the ones at a wedding who made obnoxious jokes, drank too much, and flirted with anything that had a pulse. "The weenie girl," bellowed a ruddy-faced man in a brown suit. Rowdy guys who gave me a nickname, a special breed. At least I knew they wouldn't ask me what I was serving. "Not a party till the wieners come out," someone else said, as the cans emptied the tray, leaving nothing behind but grease stains and crumbs on the paper doily. I went back to the kitchen hoping to snag some more trendy hors d'oeuvres like crab cake sliders or raspberry brie bites. Instead, I watched helplessly as Chef Hank gave me more of my vile food nemesis. "You really hate me, don't you?" He saluted and busied himself with the next server. Back in the Lancelot, I took my time weaving through the crowd, ducking here and there and trying to avoid the rowdies. "Hey, weenie girl!" People actually turned to look at me. I froze, embarrassed from the shouted nickname and the laughter it provoked. My face cramped from smiling. I walked slowly toward them, but all I wanted to do was throw the tray Frisbee-style across the room and let them deal with the fallout. "Grayson, just the girl you're looking for," said the brown suit man. The person in question spun around and flashed a dazzling white-toothed grin that made me want to fix my French knot. He was younger than the rest of them, with dark, jagged hair that fell into his eyes. I held up the Cocktail Franks to him, softening my smile, and praying he wouldn't ask me any questions, since his appearance had completely short-circuited my brain. "Sweet, watch this," he said, grabbing at least 5 dogs. He tilted back his head, threw one of the hot dogs high in the air, and caught it in his mouth to the applause of the surrounding group. While chewing, he kept his eyes on me, maybe wondering why I wasn't cheering along with the rest of them. I should have left, but there was something about the way he oozed confidence while acting so asinine that fascinated me. He was a complete tool, but I bet no one ever accused him of being too quiet. For his next trick, he threw 2 weenies in the air at once and successfully caught them in his mouth, to the delight of his rapt audience. This time, when he brought down his chin, he wasn't grinning. The rest of the hot dogs fell from his hand, and he gestured frantically toward his neck. No one in the group thought he was choking, for real. The brown suit man pounded his fist against a nearby table and chanted, "Gray, Gray, Gray." Gray's face blossomed into a bright shade of red, and drool spilled out of the corner of his mouth. My first thought was that if he would go to those lengths for a joke, he must be a real jerk. I was about to leave when I saw the animal-like panic in his eyes. I dropped my tray and wrapped my arms around him from behind. The words "fist," "thumb in," right above the navel came out from the recesses of my brain, and I squeezed upward several times to no avail. Someone yelled for help. There was desperate movement around me, but I continued pushing my fist into Gray's abdomen until I felt his body release. Just as the band finished playing The Girl from Ipanema, a gooey mass tumbled out of his mouth and landed with a splat on the cocktail table in front of him. Someone groaned. Gray gripped the table, head down, and coughed. Sound. A good sign. My arms fell from around his waist, and I stepped back. His navy blue jacket stretched taut across his back with each breath. Brown suit guy put a glass of water in front of him, but Gray waved it off. He stood up straight and turned toward me, mouth dropped open like he had something to say. His dark brown eyes held mine for a second, open, honest, longing, as if the hot dog tossing tool was just some mask he'd put on for the party. A wave of recognition coursed through me. Did I know him? No, I'd never seen him before, but I took a step toward him. He blinked and lurched forward. "Are you okay?" I asked. Then he hurled all over my black Reeboks.